before we really dig into it, I want to clarify a couple misunderstandings, because these misunderstandings come up with such a great frequency that I'd like to just discuss them before we dig in. So, first, the moral argument for the existence of God does not make any such claim to the effect as those who don't believe in God cannot be moral. That is not the claim, not in any way, shape, or form. In fact, it's not hard to point to the reality that there are atheists who live much significantly more moral lives than some Christians. There are people of all faith backgrounds who live all sorts of different lives when you try to objectively identify how moral they are. That has no bearing on the argument. What the argument really is getting at is that if God does not exist, then there's no standard by which to say that somebody is living morally. If God does not exist, then there's no objective standard to claim that somebody is moral. That's it. That is fully different than saying whether or not someone needs to believe in God to be moral. You do not need to believe in God to be moral. However, if you don't believe in God, you will not be able to ground your morality. However, you do not need to believe in God to be moral. God needs to exist for anybody to be moral, whether or not we believe in him.